Right, and you mentioned games. That leads me to my next point: is what exclusives would have been on the new Sega console? Hypothetically, there was a new Sega console.
Sonic, of course, but they had a game called Power Stone. It was a fighting game. If you don't know what Power Stone is, you should go on YouTube, check it out. It was like a 3D fighting game. It was pretty fun. You had to demo this when you first got the Dreamcast. They have that on there. They had a few Resident Evil games on there, and they had for the people that love racing games. They had Sega Rally on there, all that good stuff. So yeah, I think they would have had quite a few exclusives. Oh yeah, and as well as on PS3. I think it's on Xbox 360 as well. That what's the name of that game? Binyana, something like that. The game with the witch. When you
I had no idea. I had no idea. But I get what you're saying. I mean, they've had some good exclusives back then, and I think they would have held their own in terms of that.
Right.
Now we want to transition this on to our next segment, which Prince is going to talk about.
Yeah, I want to ask y'all, the fans, the audience that's listening to this show right now, and I want to ask, what if Sega used Hyper Supersonic in today's modern Sonic games? Now, to me, I think that the final bosses could be more intense and interesting, because as you see today, you look at not bashing Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 boss battles, but it was kind of fun for its time period. But as you look back on it, it was like it's kind of plain. You just dashing into the enemy or just dashing heads on. Especially what is it, modern? Not modern. Look at Sonic and the Secret Rings. Same fact. Sonic and the Black Knight. You got Sonic Elite as well. It was okay, but they could have done more with that. And if you look at what is it? Sonic Generations. Everybody knows Sonic Generations. Everybody was expecting an epic battle between that.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that, but before I get into the Generations part of it, the boss battles would have made a big difference, because that's where Super Sonic was used. That's where Hypersonic was used. The boss battles were pretty bland, if you ask me. Straight dashing into them. Just the simple concept of you got to hit him on his head, hit him on his leg. I just think that Hypersonic would have added a speed element to it, and maybe in a more 3D platform they would have had more straightaways with Hypersonic actually use his speed and show more ability in those boss fights. Now Sonic Generations, I think the only fail of the game was the last boss battle with the time machine. I thought that was pretty bland, if you ask me. It just was like I didn't really have a whole lot of fun playing it. It was like, it was such a great game, and then you get to that and it's like, oh, I beat it, and so it wasn't really all that to me. So, but yeah, moving on to the last point here, the Prince.
Yeah. Before we move on, I just wanted to make fact on the last question. If Hyper Supersonic was in today's modern Sonic games, the games could have been longer. In fact, like if you look at Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it was half and half. On the first side, you play a regular Super Sonic, and then you look in Sonic. You go in the second half, Sonic and Knuckles. You get the Super Emeralds and play as Hyper Supersonic, and which leads that to how could Sonic turn into Hyper Supersonic, since the Emeralds today take form of the Super Emeralds? Now, to me, that's a bit of a hard question. It still ponders my mind today, and it's like, how could it be? But if you think about it, in the story wise, Knuckles could have been like, yo, Master Emerald, put more powers into these.
Well, before we even get to that point, let's inform the fans, for those who don't know, Prince, how does Sonic become Hyper Supersonic in the first place?
Okay, if you haven't played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, in the first half of Sonic 3, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you have the Chaos Emerald, which basically, turn you into Super Sonic. But then on the second half, there's the Super Emeralds. So you collect all 7 Super Emeralds, and then you have the ability to turn into Hyper Supersonic.
And what ability does the Hyper Supersonic have over Supersonic?
He has he's much faster. Well, not much faster, but he has more speed than regular Supersonic, and he has like a dash, if you push, like, let's take this for example. If you have your controller and you push the jump button and then you push it again, you have a dash where you could jump up or down, and you go like a full speed at an advantage to get up on higher heights as well.
Right.
And he has like a coloring change, like his colors change like red, white, blue, green, and orange, something like that.
Right. Okay, so go ahead. So back to the question. I don't think it's not possible if it's in the form of a Super Emerald, he cannot turn to Hypersonic, because Super Emeralds turn you into Hypersonic, but Chaos Emeralds only turn you into Supersonic. If they're in the form of Chaos Emeralds, then there's no way that he could turn into Hypersonic. There's no way. These Super Emeralds can only turn you into Hyper Supersonic. Now, I mean, it's good to think about, but there's no way he could possibly do that. Now, if they put Super Emerald in the modern games, then he could turn into Hyper Supersonic.
Right.
So that's just what I think about it.
Yeah. If I think they could, like, the emeralds to have the form of the Super Emeralds, but they could, like, later on add some kind of new looks of the emeralds, or have Knuckles somehow summon some new powers and put more power into the emeralds, so Sonic have the ability to turn into Hyper Supersonic, which would be interesting to see some shit like that. I would be like, wow.
Yeah, it really would. And Knuckles is the protector of the Chaos Emeralds, so he can pretty much do almost anything he wants with them.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a stretch for Knuckles to do that. He can actually add more power to it if he wants to.
Right.
He is the protector. So that's all for today's episode, guys. Now we wanted to go ahead and recap. What if Sega still has its own console today? Would it still be able to compete with the new generation consoles in the PS3 to 360? What do you think? Chime in on that. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And what if Sega used Hyper Supersonic in today's modern games, such as Sonic Generations, even Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic 06, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Unleashed? How would Hyper Supersonic play out in modern games? That's food for thought. We necessarily didn't come up with a solution to that because there is no such thing as a Super Emerald on the modern Sonic games. So some good things to think about. So I just want to thank everybody for watching this episode. We will have a special guest next week. We do not know who that will be. If you want to be a guest on these episodes, like I said, just mention me or Prince at X Retroactive or Pretty Boy Prince. And if you guys have some insight on some Sonic topics that you want us to talk about, you can email me at retroactive28@gmail.com. I will check it. If it's a good idea, not only will we try to have you as a guest, but we'll do your topic as well. And if you have some topics, you can just mention me on Twitter if you have any topics you want to talk about. So yeah, Sonic Blast from Past episode 5. It's your boy Retro. That's Prince. We're out.